Castle Impossible has never been just a pretty renovation show. Yes, the chateau is beautiful. Yes, the rooms are full of history, charm, and that dreamy French countryside feeling. But behind every gorgeous wall, every restored corner, and every romantic camera shot, there is a very real question hanging over Daphne Reckert and Ian Figueira. How do you keep a 500-year-old castle alive when the repairs never stop and the bills keep getting bigger? That question becomes even more serious as Daphne and Ian face one of their most stressful challenges yet. Their historic chateau needs major terrace repairs, and this is not the kind of project they can simply ignore. A terrace on a centuries-old property is not just a pretty outdoor space. It is part of the structure, part of the history, and part of the long-term survival of the building. When something like that begins to fail, waiting too long can turn an expensive problem into a devastating one. And that is where the pressure really begins. Because restoring a chateau is not like fixing a normal house. You cannot just run to the nearest store, buy cheap materials, and patch things up over the weekend. Old stone, historic details, safety concerns, and preservation all matter. Every repair needs care. Every decision has a price. And for Daphne and Ian, the terrace repair is starting to look like one of those projects that could change everything. But instead of giving up, they come up with a plan that feels creative, risky, and very Castle Impossible. They decide to turn part of the chateau into a tea room. On the surface, it sounds charming. A tea room inside a historic French castle feels almost perfect. Visitors can come in, enjoy the atmosphere, experience the beauty of the property, and become part of the chateau's story. But underneath that charming idea is a serious business move. Daphne and Ian are not just creating a cute space for fun. They are trying to build a source of income that can help support future restoration work. That is what makes this episode so interesting. The tea room is not only about design, it is about survival. It is about whether the chateau can become more financially sustainable instead of depending on one repair budget after another. For anyone watching at home, this is the part of chateau ownership that often gets overlooked. People see the sweeping staircases, the old-world architecture, the beautiful gardens, and the magical rooms. They imagine romance, peace, and a slower lifestyle. But the reality is much more complicated. A property this old constantly demands attention. One project finishes, and another one appears. One wall gets restored, and another hidden issue is discovered. The dream comes with pressure attached. That is why the terrace repair becomes more than just another renovation problem. It represents the larger battle Daphne and Ian are fighting. They are not simply decorating a house. They are trying to protect a historic building from slowly falling apart. And every repair they delay could become more expensive later. So the tea room idea becomes their way of pushing back. Instead of letting the chateau drain them financially, they want the chateau to start helping pay for itself. Before we continue, let us know in the comments what you think. Is opening a tea room inside the chateau a genius idea? Or is it too risky when they already have so many repairs to handle? Because this decision could become one of the most important moves Daphne and Ian have made so far. The exciting part is that the tea room fits the personality of the chateau. It does not feel like a random business idea forced into the story. It feels connected to the place. A historic castle already offers beauty, atmosphere, and curiosity. A tea room gives visitors a reason to stay longer, spend more time inside, and feel connected to the restoration. In a way, every cup of tea and every dessert served could become a small contribution to saving the property. But making the idea work is not simple. Daphne and Ian have to create a space that feels elegant, useful, and authentic all at once. It cannot look too modern or too commercial. It cannot feel like an ordinary cafe dropped into an old building. The room has to respect the character of the chateau while still functioning as a real place for guests. That balance is difficult, and this is where the episode starts to show how much work is really involved. Ian takes on one of the most artistic parts of the project by creating decorative frescoes. This is such an important detail because it shows that he is not just trying to finish a room quickly. He wants the space to feel special. The artwork gives the tea room personality and helps make it feel like it belongs inside the chateau. It adds that handmade, historic feeling that viewers love about the show. Daphne, meanwhile, brings her creative eye to the practical side of the project. Instead of spending money on everything brand new, she looks for ways to reuse and transform existing pieces. A dresser becomes something useful. A bar takes on new life. A dessert cart becomes part of the tea room experience. This is where Daphne's style really shines, because she understands how to make a space feel charming without making it feel fake. That upcycling approach also makes sense financially. When money is already tight because of major repairs, every saved cost matters. Buying expensive furniture and fixtures would only add more pressure. By reworking pieces they already have, Daphne and Ian are able to create something unique while still protecting their budget. And honestly, that is one of the reasons fans root for them. They are not just throwing money at problems. They are thinking, creating, and adapting. The arrival of Dick and Angel Strawbridge adds another layer to the episode. For fans of Chateau renovation shows, their appearance feels like a major moment. They understand better than almost anyone what it means to take on a massive French property and try to turn it into something livable, beautiful, and financially workable. Their experience matters because they have already faced many of the same fears Daphne and Ian are facing now. Dick and Angel bring advice, perspective, and encouragement at exactly the right time. They know that the dream of owning a chateau can quickly become overwhelming if there is no long-term plan. They also understand that hospitality can be a powerful way to support a historic property. Their visit helps remind viewers that Daphne and Ian are not just being creative. They are making the kind of decision many chateau owners have to consider if they want their property to survive. Still, the risk does not disappear. A tea room sounds lovely, but it has to attract visitors. It has to be managed. It has to create enough interest to justify the effort. And even if it succeeds, it may not solve every financial problem overnight. The terrace repairs still matter. Future restoration work will still be waiting. The chateau will still continue to demand time, money, and energy. That uncertainty is what makes this storyline feel so real. The tea room could become a turning point. It could help create steady income, bring more people to the chateau, and support future repairs. But it could also become another project that requires more work than expected. For Daphne and Ian, this is not just a design challenge. It is a test of whether their restoration dream can become a sustainable future, and that is the heart of Castle Impossible. The show is not only about beautiful transformations. It is about the emotional and financial reality of saving something old, fragile, and meaningful. Daphne and Ian are not just restoring rooms for television. They are trying to protect a piece of history. Every project they take on is part of a bigger mission. Every repaired wall, every restored space, and every new business idea is connected to the future of the chateau. The tea room may look like a small, charming addition, but it represents something much bigger. It represents hope. It represents pressure. It represents the moment when a dream has to become practical in order to survive. Daphne and Ian know they cannot rely on passion alone. Passion may have brought them this far, but sustainability is what will keep the chateau standing. That is why this episode feels so important. It shows the difference between owning a beautiful historic property and truly saving one. The beauty is only one side of the story. The other side is hard work, bills, repairs, business decisions, and constant problem solving. Daphne and Ian are learning that if they want this chateau to have a future, they have to think beyond renovation and start thinking like caretakers, hosts, and entrepreneurs. So now the big question is whether the tea room will become the lifeline they need. Could this be the project that helps secure the chateau's future? Or will the repair costs continue to rise faster than new income can come in? One thing is clear, Daphne and Ian are not backing away from the challenge. They are trying to turn pressure into opportunity. And that is exactly why Castle Impossible continues to keep viewers invested. Because in the end, this is not just a story about tea, terraces, or one more renovation. It is a story about a couple fighting to keep a centuries-old dream alive. And whether the tea room becomes a huge success or just another difficult chapter, Daphne and Ian are proving that saving a castle takes more than money. It takes creativity, courage, and the willingness to keep going, even when the dream starts to feel impossible. What do you think? Is the tea room the smartest move Daphne and Ian could make? Or are they taking on too much at once? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Castle Impossible updates.